got to plan for the worst, because when you're up against Mother Nature, you can't win. My name's Jeff Reid. I was a Navy SEAL, and I'm a dog musher. Grew up in a very small town in central Pennsylvania called Martinsburg. It's a dairy farming community, so lots more cows than there were people. And I grew up running around with my buddies and playing sports. I played football, played basketball, and ran track. Senior year in high school, when you're trying to figure out what you want to do when you grow up, nothing seemed good to me. The idea of going to a 9-to-5 life, honestly, I didn't like it. It didn't sound cool. A very influential person in my life was my grandfather. He was in the Army during the Korean War, was the recipient of a Bronze Star and the Purple Heart.
Morning, everybody, again. For the second time.
It's still a perfect summer. On our crew, he's wearing purple as well. Other than that, it's kind of quiet around the country. We like quiet. It's quiet. It's too quiet.
9/11 happened. I kept thinking about my grandfather, and so I talked to him. I was like, hey, I want to go fight. I want a ticket to the show. How do I get that? Try the Navy UDTs. They're always in the front lines, and sometimes they'll go in before. So I actually went to the Navy recruiter and tried to sign up to be a UDT when I went in. Since the 60s, they're now Navy SEALs. So that's how my introduction to the SEAL teams came about. So they told me that I could sign up, get a contract, right out of boot camp, go right into buds. This is exactly what I want to do. This is perfect. Signed my life away that day. It was surreal. It was a big dream, but I didn't necessarily say I felt like I fulfilled any kind of real dream, because the main dream was to go hunt bad guys. I wanted to do my part at serving my country, and I showed up to the team, and we spent that whole 6 months training up for Europe. We already had our ISUs, our Connex. We were already deployment loaded out. 2 weeks before we leave for deployment, you are no longer going to Europe, you're going to Afghanistan. It's game on. Mortars landing, RPGs were getting lobbed into our base. Heavy machine gun fire PKMs coming in, spraying our tents down. It hit home. Like, there's no reset button out there. You best lock on and you best charge hard and make your days count. Village Stability Operations, or VSO, was a new operation coming down the pipeline for naval special warfare. Going indige, living with the local populace, and then kind of operating from there. Yeah, it was rough. It was rough living, but that's what I love. It was the Wild West out there. We got in over 150 fights, man. We were scrapping. Halfway through that deployment, we got pulled out of that site. We got told the risk wasn't worth the reward being out there. Well, fuck, what about everyone? What about the shit we just went through? What about the Afghans that just got killed being out there? Come on. Seeing that kind of like left a bad taste in my mouth, and then it also told me that the war was winding down. If I was gonna be a SEAL, I wanted to be a SEAL fighting war, not a SEAL kind of in a time of peace. Like, I have other ambitions too. Yeah, it just made sense that to get out. I had no idea it would lead to where we're at right now. I really owe everything to my wife. I was in the process of becoming a John Deere mechanic. And I read a book by Gary Paulson called Winter Dance about the Iditarod. And then after reading that book, it was like, dude, the Iditarod and dog mushing, like you go through some shit together. Like that's how you get that bond back. And I started like researching dog mushing, and I started talking to more and more about it with my wife. And I remember her saying like, what is it that you want to do in life? Like what will bring you happy? Don't worry about money. Don't worry about like if it makes sense. If you could tell me in one word what would make you happy, and I was like, well, I think it'd be badass to go do the Iditarod. I think it'd be cool to be a dog musher. If you come up with a plan that makes sense, we can try it. That's all I needed to hear. I sent out an email to every dog musher that I could Google. And I heard back from a few of them. One of them being Allie Zirkle and Alan Moore. Allie is a Yukon Quest champion and a 3-time second place Iditarod finisher. Alan Moore has won the Yukon Quest 3 times. And they told me that they're actually looking for a handler. Told Jerry, like I could line it up. If you could get a job up there, that's where like we could make it happen. She ended up getting a job up there. The stars aligned. I spent that first winter learning how to dog mush and help train Allie Zirkle and Alan Moore's dogs. And that same winter, Alan Moore went on to win the Yukon Quest. And I was over there, Allie and Alan's kennel, drinking coffee with them. And another musher came up. He just happened to say, hey, you know anyone who's looking to buy a place? And I just happened to be like, yo. And this place was here, and I saw it once, and like, this is it, man. This is where the magic gets started. And right off the Yukon Quest Trail, we have 1,000 miles of trails that take us right into the Yukon territory, the dog mushing capital of the world. And I scooped that opportunity up as soon as it presented itself, and it's now the home of Frozen Trident Kennel. We have a super tight bond. That's what's kind of crazy. I no longer have that bond with the dudes in the SEAL team, but I get it with the dogs. We do some pretty crazy stuff together. We go out, run long distances, and get in some pretty gnarly temperatures and some pretty gnarly climates, and we rely on each other. We count on each other. Dogs are counting on me to take care of them, and I'm counting on the dogs to get me home. We're one solid pack. To do this with all the dogs, we go through about a bag of dog food a day. And we are so thankful for the entire Frozen Trident pack, non-stop dog mushing, who provide the dogs with harnesses, the best harnesses that you can have, the best parkas you can get. And then especially all of the individual dog sponsors, the people that sponsor our dogs, that's what really funds the whole thing. And I cannot thank people enough for being part of that. It means so much to us and really helps us get to where we need to be, and it means the world.